Hi guys, I know it's been over a week and I was planning on doing one of these videos over once a week, but I've been running into some personal stuff which makes the videos extremely depressing and nobody wants to watch me cry for 20 minutes. So I have put it off and I've recorded several of them and then immediately deleted them because I just ended up going back to the same thing, which might happen with this one as well. But that's kind of the intention with this video. So in the last about 2 weeks or so, I've been dealing with some personal stuff. So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about mental illness. Psychological disorders and things like that, and how they affect me in my life. So this is a little bit of a hard topic for me because I'm not really open up and talk about your feelings kind of gal. I will tell people what I'm thinking about things, but I'm not really let's talk about my feelings, all kind of soft and whatever kind of person. So I'm going to go ahead and record some of my issues that I'm having. So I'm unemployed, which I've touched on many times, so you guys are well aware. And the lack of schedule, the lack of routine is very detrimental to my mental health. I suffer from pretty severe depression and have for basically my whole life. For the longest time, I managed it with drugs and alcohol. That was many years of trying to even out my mood swings, because I could be a normal, fun-loving person and then turn around and the next day not be able to get out of bed. So I did a lot of drugs when I was much younger, and then I've been clean for a long time, but I kept drinking for a long time as well because I live in a city, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where it's normal to be drunk all the time. And a lot of people don't actually have a problem with it. They just drink all the time because that's a social thing around here. I wouldn't say I had an addiction per se to alcohol. I used it as a crutch and I self-medicated. So what would happen is I would drink because I'm a happy drunk and I'd be in a good mood. And then the next day the doldrums would come, of course, because of the hangover, and psychologically I'd be a little bit messy. Like, what did I do? Why do I waste my time? Why do I feel like crap again? And then I would go out with my friends to drink again because it would make me feel better. So it was like this endless cycle. So people always ask me why I quit drinking. And they ask me if I'm an alcoholic and all those fun things. And I don't mind answering those questions because for somebody who drank their whole life, and I am a bartender as well, it's strange for people and they don't understand and they want to understand. And I know that it's not meant with any malicious intent. So so I self-medicated for a really long time, and I'm not doing that anymore. I quit drinking about 10 and a half months ago. So coming up on a year, it'll be a year next month, that I quit drinking entirely. I have no desire on a day-to-day basis to go back to drinking. I was put on an antidepressant just over a year ago that gives me the opportunity to try to improve my life. And that's what the right antidepressant did for me. It made me, it gave me the opportunity to make better choices. So I was able to quit drinking, and I was able to get healthy physically, go to the gym, be on a regular routine, be more successful in my day-to-day life, which is awesome. I sincerely believe in psych meds for people who need them. And that's a fine line because some people are like, I'm just having a bad couple weeks or whatever, and that's fine. I was having a bad couple of weeks 30 times a year. So every little thing would bother me when I wasn't on the antidepressants, and it's getting better throughout time as I learn ways to handle my stress and anxiety as well, because I have pretty bad anxiety. So lately I've been kind of down again due to some personal stuff like not working and relationship issues. And so what happens is the depression makes me want to stay in bed all day. It makes me feel like there's nothing for me to do if I get out of bed, so why bother getting out of bed? Who doesn't love sleeping? So here's what happens. It starts as not wanting to get out of bed, and it turns into staying in bed all day, which then parlays into staying in bed all day the next day because I stay up too late because then I can't go to sleep, and then it's an endless spiral. So what happens in my life is the minute that I get a little bit out of routine with work and everything else, my personal space also kind of goes to shit. So language, sorry. So here's what's happening right now. I'm going to give you a little bit of a look at my normally extremely organized life. I'm an overly organized person because I feel like I am most successful in my personal life when everything has its place. So you can always tell when I kind of start to unravel a little bit because this is what happens. Okay, so you're like, oh, okay, some bags of trail mix, dishes, whatever. So dishes, dirty dishes, they've been out there on there for about a week. Clean dishes, same thing, been there for about a week. Okay, you're like, oh, that's pretty minor. Not for somebody like me. The smallest things can get out of hand really quickly. So my bed's not made. What? Kitchen table has a bunch of random stuff all over it. That never happens. I have shoes everywhere. Shoes over here, shoes over there, bags empty, random towel. All of my backpacking stuff that I had out for a week and a half ago, I still haven't put away. People, that's okay. I mean, it's not like it's a disaster, but it is for me because it shows that my insides match my outsides right now. So if my life is a mess outside, as in my personal space, then inside is just a disaster. So I am trying to get myself back on a routine. I need to get back to eating healthy, and I need to get back to exercising, because what happens is, because I don't want to get out of bed all day, I don't have the energy, and that's what depression does to you. It sucks all of your energy. It makes you feel like you've run out of even the smallest amount of energy to do the most basic things. So it stops you from being able to go grocery shopping. So instead you go and get fast food all the time. It stops you from being able to do laundry. So you end up with a pile that is, it's just not comparable to anything. I've gone as long as like 4 weeks without doing laundry. Not going to the gym because I don't have the energy. I'm not doing my dishes because I don't have the energy. And like I said, it makes every part of your life worse when you can't control the little tiny things. So I also have a bad addiction to food. I also use that to self-medicate. So that's how I ended up putting on all the weight all those years. And people always say things like self-control, but that's not really an option when you have severe depression. It kind of, they're involved with each other very strongly. It's a really super direct correlation, your lack of self-control and severe depression. So what happens is I feel like crap, and then I eat something that makes me happy because I really like the taste of it. And it's something stupid and basic, and you're like, sure, my favorite food is muffins. I love muffins, so I'll have a muffin for breakfast. And I'm like, oh, that was good, so I'll have another one, and then another couple. And the next thing I know, I feel like crap physically because all I've been eating all day are muffins. And don't get me wrong, muffins are delicious, but they're not good for you. And that happens with everything. So I'm trying to get that little tiny feeling of joy that the taste of a muffin brings me. And everybody has that food where you're like, oh, I love pasta. So when I eat pasta, I'm happy because I'm eating pasta. For me, pretty much all foods have that effect. So, but it's so fleeting, and the feeling is so fleeting that you just keep eating because you keep wanting to relive that. That's the same feeling as any sort of addiction that you have. You're just trying to chase the dragon, if you will, but only in the food form for me. But it's the same thing for people that I've talked to who have been addicted to hardcore drugs as well. So here's me trying to kind of manage that bit of lack of control that I have. So it takes baby steps, and I've been through this with my therapist several times, where a baby step is going to the gym or not having a muffin for breakfast, instead having oatmeal, which I should be eating on a daily basis because that's what I eat when I am healthy and I'm in a routine. Getting back to a regular routine, even if I don't have a job to go to. So that's what I'm dealing with right now, and that's what I'm working really hard to return to, is that. But it's very difficult when you don't have anything in your life that makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. So I'm going to Miami this coming weekend to help out with a friend's benefit. And it was very nicely offered to me that I am being flown down there. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to afford to go otherwise. Flown down there to help out after helping out so much with the last benefit. So I feel like I have a purpose this week, which is really cool because makes such a big difference to me. So I say this every day when I'm depressed, but tomorrow I'm going to get back to back to the gym and eating healthy and everything, because this coming weekend I'm going to feel like I have a purpose. So all week this week I should be doing pretty well. Obviously today I'm not doing very well, but it's Sunday, and Sundays are always kind of rough for me because I never have anything to do. So for me, that's what mental illness means. It doesn't mean, people say crazy, and I hate that word because it's so hard to pull yourself away from it. I've been told that my history and my past and all the things that I've done over the years are things that I should be ashamed of, and I shouldn't talk about them as if those were the glory days. I joke about them a lot, about my history a lot, because it's the way that I deal with the things that I've done and the past that I have. And because of that, it helps me grow. I've learned a lot from who I was, and I've learned a lot from the things that I've done. And it drives me to be a better person. And I still talk about the past in a joking fashion, because if I take it too seriously and I get too down on myself for it, I won't be able to get out of that. That's not an option for me. So I spend a lot of time trying to joke about the things that make me uncomfortable, which is really common for comedians. You're fighting your own depression with comedy, which is common, but apparently it makes other people uncomfortable, and it makes me somebody that they don't want to be around. And that's kind of hard for me to understand, because I have had so much life and so much experience. I would think that my past would make people more comfortable to be around me, because I'm so not judgmental and I am so willing to understand other people's flaws. So that was hard for me to hear. I didn't realize that I was making people uncomfortable with it. I mean, I understand that there's a little bit of discomfort with that in-your-face kind of humor, which I have. So a lot of segue words today, I guess, because this is, like I said, it's a topic that makes me a little bit uncomfortable because I don't like to talk about it a lot. But I think it's important that people understand that whatever you're going through, you're not alone at all. There's a billion people who are going through it as well. And I am certainly one of them on a regular basis. So I fight a lot of days to get out of bed. I fight a lot of days to get dressed, get in the shower. I fight every time I have to go to the gym. I fight with myself. When I'm in a routine, it's easier because then you've already made yourself, it's a habit more than anything else. So you get there, and once you're there, you're good. But I fight myself every single day of my life, and I always have. So somebody once told me that I was my own worst enemy, and that's true. I fight myself constantly, and I always have been. They said it as an insult, as if that's something that I have a choice on, and I don't. I'm still my own worst enemy, but I am fighting myself as much as I can to be more successful at the things that I want to do. So I had an interview, a phone interview on Thursday, a few days ago, with a company that I think would be, so far it sounds like it would be a good fit. I'm hoping to get an in-person interview after the phone interview. I don't interview very well on the phone because I have trouble interacting with people that I can't see. I read facial expressions and I read body language very well, but it's hard to do those things over the phone. So I can have short conversations, but anything where I should be gauging another person's reaction, I have trouble doing that. So I don't talk on the phone very often. So if you try to call me, I probably won't answer. So don't. But yeah, if I get to the in-person interview part, it would be a good step for me. My suit's already ready because of a couple weeks ago when I had that other interview. So that's all set. I'm going to cut my hair this week, I think, and dye it. I've been thinking about growing it out, but it's just looking haggard. So don't think I'm going to do that. But I'm going to dye my hair, get it all one color-ish, hopefully, because that's pretty sad looking. Get a bit of a haircut. I'm going to Miami next weekend, so I'll have a sweet tan. I'm going to look like summer, I guess. I always had a hard time with people who looked like summer and winter, but who cares? I mean, you're going to do whatever you want, and you're going to be happy about it, hopefully. So, so I'm going to be one of those obnoxiously blonde tan people, which is fine. Need to hit the gym a little bit because my swimsuit's probably a little tight right now because depression lately and the eating and whatever. But, So, when you are feeling blue and down about yourself, just know that there are a lot of people in the world that are fighting the same battles as you are. And a lot of the people that you think are holding it together or have great lives are fighting their own battles inside as well. So I don't think that's a confusion for anybody. I don't think anybody's like, oh, Devin's got it all together. I don't think that's ever a thing. I'm very open and honest with my struggles. So I want to keep being that way. I think it's very important for other people to understand that there are people around them that fight battles as well. Some things I'll always keep to myself, but for the most part, I'm very honest about my subject matter and very honest about my feelings towards things. I don't open up much about emotions, and I do not like to cry. So the tongue-in-cheek comment about crying earlier was just that. I did cry in front of people this week. It was very unpleasant, and I wish it hadn't happened, but there was really no way around it, unfortunately. Somebody used their power that they've had over me for evil, which is pretty disappointing, but it sucks to be disappointed by people that you love. At the same time, it teaches a nice, powerful lesson about the fact that you have to choose the people that you're around a little bit more carefully. So I'm lucky to have great family, and I'm lucky to have very close friends, and I'm lucky to have a lot of things that I do have, and I just have to keep reminding myself of that. And I'm lucky to have enough self-control that when people tell me I should smile, that I don't punch them in the face. That happened yesterday. It was very disappointing. Anyway, so this is me discussing my mental illness. And if you have any questions for me, or if you feel like maybe I should expound on this a little bit, or you want to tell me your story, feel free. Like I said, I don't talk on the phone, so don't suggest that we do that. But you're welcome to send me a PM or just comment and say you'd like to see me talk about more about the depression or more about addiction or whatever it is that you want more information about, and I'd be happy to. If you want me to do more of a clinical, I can do that too. I can do some research. I like doing research, so I don't mind it at all. To kind of look into some more of the history and whatever. Just let me know. Other than that, this is going to be a week where I'm fighting a lot. So you might get a couple extra videos this week. You might get no extra videos this week because of that. So bear with me here. We're going to get back into fun and funny stuff relatively soon. I just need to kind of get myself back up and going. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been so patient and so good to me lately, because it's been a pretty rough summer. This was supposed to be my year where I did great things, and so far I've done nothing that I wanted to get done. So I'm working on it. I just need to get back in the job market and get back to working, and I'm back on a routine, and I have a lot to do with that. So I'm determined to get myself back together. So have a wonderful week. And again, if you have any questions for me, please just let me know. All right. Bye, guys.